Welcome. Now I know some of you are returning and are here because it's definitely Roblox Studio Tips Part 19. No, I'm gonna explain something. Roblox Studio Tips I made first of all when I had a low mic quality. And also when I really wasn't that experienced of a programmer. I believe I started that series in 2023 and I was still only doing basic JavaScript by that end of the year. Now I'm doing Java and going to much more advanced things, which has allowed me to transfer that knowledge into Roblox, making me overall a better programmer. But anyways, this is Roblox. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. Anyways, once you start a Roblox studio, you're gonna be like, well, where do I go? I just started, so you have a lot of things you can start. You have the base plate, the ugly one, the actual base plate, the not ugly one, the flat terrain. I don't know why we would use that at all. And then these, I think they come with scripts already built within them, which wouldn't really help you if you had no idea what any of it did. And honestly, would take a long time to explain to do what they did. So just go on a classic or a base plate, unless you want flat terrain, but that kind of gets into the way of things if you're just trying to program. A classic base plate in the templates in the home screen. So yeah, this is what you start out with. You can customize things. The basics of Roblox Studio, you have a few tools. You have the select, move, scale, and rotate tools. You have geometric and physical. Don't mess with that. I'll explain it probably in another video. Editor, this is the terrain editor. You can generate or import terrain. You can clear terrain if you don't like it. You have part, and you can spawn a various number of parts like a brick, a spherical object, a wedge object, a corner wedge object, just in case you need that, and a cylinder. There's a UI. This just takes you over to here, and this is how you create UIs. So like a screen GUI, GUI, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, and this just allows you to put things on the player's screen. But be warned, it is very confusing to actually like do it because you have to understand how the 2D overlay works, and so that it will actually be in the right position and not in the way when doing stuff. So it's best to try to make it transparent. Toolbox, which is this thing on the side, this is where you can find public models to make sure that other stuff works. Turns out that most public models are probably not the best, and they have to have very complicated scripts in them to actually make them work by themselves instead of working already with your game because you programmed it yourself. So that's the advantage of knowing how to program instead of importing free models. It's that you're able to localize it to your game, meaning it probably is going to take a lot less code to work. You have import 3D models. This would be going into a file, and like if you made a 3D model on Blender or another 3D editing software, you could go into it and just put it in. Good. Color tool. This gives you a bunch of colors. These are all brick colors. Other kinds of colors like color 3, or I guess the other code, which I forgot what it's called. I think it's like hex codes. Material, just yeah. You can generate material. I've never. Apparently, they have Roblox has an AI thing here where you can just type in something and it generates a new material. Didn't know that. Material manager. I think you can also import materials. Uh, and then over here, you have the playtest button, the lock tool. Lock tool just makes it. I unlocked it basically because it was already unlocked, so now I can move it around if I want to. I guess if it would let me, like that. But we're gonna relock it since you don't really want to mess with that. And you have game settings. You have to save your game to Roblox, or if you want to alter those settings. Current clients thought these only work on playtests, and team tests only works if you have a team create option enabled after saving it. So hitting play, you can get into here to your natural working Roblox game. It's just the Roblox engine. Let me turn my graphics. Oh, it's already at the max. Well, you can switch to the server to actually alter things in server or run lines of code down here, or like you can run. Yeah, so you can do stuff like that in that prompts down there. And you can go back, click this just again to be put back into here. The client is useful for test. If imagine you had like a script that, or like a tool, which a tool requires a local script to get a local input. You want to test that, and then you test to see if it's actually updating in the server, not just for the player. You can do that. There's situations where you want to use local scripts so only the actual player can see it, or you want to use server scripts where the whole world or the whole everybody in the server can see it. Yeah. So over here we go into the model section. This is pretty simple. You also have the transform tool, which is like combining all three of these in one. I've never used that before. Collisions, join surfaces, make sure that collisions are on. You can join surfaces. I don't know what that does. Over here is important. If you want to, like, I think default Roblox starts you at move at 1 studs. You can just put that to 0.25 since you're likely going to need to move smaller than just 1 stud at a time. So, like, for example, your brick would be like this. This is your little stud you have. And when you move it, and it goes like this because you have it at 1 stud. This progression was only 1 stud. So, like, you want your 1 stud to be in front of this. And because you can't move this in front of it, go by 1 because it's like half a brick away every time you move it. It goes like this. That's like moving 0.5 studs. That's not low enough. So you go 0.25 and, well, now you can get it perfectly aligned. So that works like that. So that's how that works. You can rotate. I think it starts you off at actually just 5 degrees. You can turn up to 45 degrees if you want quick rotations. You can also check these boxes off and they'll just move the smallest possible amount. Snap to parts just means that, like, it will try to snap to the nearest part, like the base plate or something else. Edit pivot, I do not know what this does. I think I know what it does, but I'm not going to explain that. The alignment tool is weird. You have these again. Lock tool to action. This is just, again, the lock. Unlock. This is an important thing I'll get into later, but this is basically only used if you want to model stuff. And modeling stuff is really only useful if you actually know how to use it. You have a spawn location, which you actually need to put in, because if you don't put it in, well, you're never really gonna get that far. And look, I went to slightly things that are a little more advanced, but here we go. You put this at 0, 0, now we're at the center of the base plate. So that's how you use position. Next is the avatar. This is pretty simple. Avatar fitting tool. This allows you to basically create tools. You can create accessory. Import three-dimensional object. Oh, rig builder. A rig builder is pretty simple. You could just do this, and now we have a me in here. So we have an avatar setup. It basically like creating a three-dimensional model, just in case you didn't actually want like your model to be a Roblox character. You could literally just put it as any three-dimensional model, which allows you to get like characters. Imagine you had an FPS game, but you didn't want every character to be blocky. You want them to look like Call of Duty. What you would do is import a three-dimensional model for a basic human and then add accessories on top of them to make them look like an actual character from the game. Animation editor. This is Roblox's default animation editor, which is, while it is good enough to basically get you for some basic animations, it's not the best out there because, well, we'll get into that. Test, this again is just for this. You can actually make it look like it looks like on phone if you press that. We'll get into that. This is the view section. This allows you to put different things in here, like the output, which we had in earlier, but we forgot. I accidentally closed it. So, and the toolbox. This is basically what my screen always looks like. You can put grid material so you can see what the heck everything looks like. You can show grid. You have video record, screenshot, full screen, one direction view. This is all for that. Script analysis can be helpful if you want to see what's going on in certain scripts. You can have task schedule and performance area so you can see how things are running. Normally you would use this, see how it's working on this. You would actually need to know some stuff about computer science to understand what is going on here. So, but you don't need that on. Where is that? Yeah, over here. Object browser allows you to just look at literally anything that exists within Roblox. The command bar is this thing down here I used to kill this little guy earlier. We have the asset manager, which is I think enabled by default. If you ever like, oh, I want to edit something, but this thing disappears, you just go over here. Same for Explorer. You need both of these things automatically, so that's why they're highlighted and bigger. Then you have plugins. Roblox does not come with any plugins. It just comes with the ability to manage any plugins you do have. As for me, I have avatar importers, which you do not really need anymore, but whatever. Tool grip editor, so I can, yeah. Moon animator, which is literally the best version, but the best animator out there that you can get. If you want to make an animation, use Moon animator like a good advanced animator. I mean, good advanced animation. I have another. The Moon also comes with a character inserter and an easy weld. So yeah, I did forget to mention one thing though. If you do want to get a plugin like Moon Animator, it's not gonna be fun because while it says you got Moon Animator 2 over here, it costs. Oh, you can update it. Oh, good. But anyways, it costs like 1,000 or 2,000 Robux right now. It used to be free, but they made it cost Robux afterwards. So if you got it for free, you're lucky you. But yeah, and most most plugins don't even cost Robux anymore. They just straight up cost money, which means you have to have credit on your Roblox account or have to put in credit to buy most things. So just be warned, there isn't very many actually good free plugins, unfortunately. You will have to pay money if you want to do that. But a lot of the plugins are mostly cosmetical things, or there's stuff that you can just program in yourself. You can make your own plugin if you really want to. And that's really all to go over here. Then we can move over to the Explorer and Properties section. Players, you can check. This is where you can actually click on certain things to see how things work. So, example, we can go into lighting, and then we're like, oh, this doesn't look too good. I don't think the shadows look that good. How about we change the technology to futuristic? Now, you're not going to see a difference here. Like, maybe if you look at this shadow, it will look different. The only thing you actually notice the difference is voxel. I don't know how that works. But overall, genuinely, you want to have the futuristic because that probably for you is going to be the best. You can go into replicate it first, replicate storage, server, script storage, server storage, start a GUI, which is where you put screen GUIs in. Look how it immediately takes you to the UI section. Starter pack, where you can put tools, and any tool you put in here will immediately be in the player's inventory from the start. Starter player, where you can put starter character scripts and starter player scripts, meant specifically to actually make things run. So like imagine you had a press shift to run script, you would put in the starter character script so that the character's humanoid would have, or the character would just have a faster running speed. Player is actually more for like leaderboard stuff, I guess. Teams, you can import a team, you can put a team into there so that like the player can be on a different team, and then you can make like a program that makes it so you cannot hurt people on the same team as you. Pretty good. Sound service, this is just how you want Roblox to handle sounds. You have terrain. Yep. We have the camera, which you can mess with all you want. I don't really care because right now it's kind of just perfect how it is. And then you can mess with stuff in the players, like how fast you want the respawn, which in our case, let's just put at 2. Because, 2 is pretty quick. Banning is enabled, so you can actually just ban people. You can have character auto, uh, I think that's just the auto load back in or something. There's this strafing animation apparently. And, uh, there should bubble chat is not enabled on games that are not saved. So, oh yeah, and then there's the group thing. Imagine we wanted to group the spawn location and the base plate together. There's first of all you could just press Control G to put into a model, or you put group to make it into a model. And as for this, you can hit these arrows to see how many actual specific parts are within something. These are all meshes created by Roblox. They have the avatar. This is really confusing if you're only getting into programming. You don't ever really need to mess with that. But if you're getting into modeling, you have to mess with that a little bit. There is key binds you can do. Control D duplicates an object, so now you have 2. Control C actually copies an object. You can press Control V to paste it, and it will do that for some reason. I don't know why. You can press Control Z to undo things, Control Y to redo things, which for some reason made this guy look really weird because Roblox didn't actually import it properly that time. Control U, I believe, does this because it's an ungroup. That's the ungroup button. This is not recommended due to performance reasons. Yeah, don't make the workspace have a humanoid. And that is the entirety of the basics of this. In the next episode, I will probably be going over basic programming knowledge that you would need to know in order to do this. Oh yeah, and you can right click things to do this. So you also have Control X to delete objects, or you can press del or back. I don't think it works with backspace. Oh no, it does work with backspace. So learn something new. Paste into Control Shift V is a lot more useful because if you like, imagine you want to paste this rig inside of the workspace. Well, I mean, well, it's automatically going to because it needs to be. But imagine you want to paste into server storage, it doesn't go into it. But if you press Control Shift V, oh, now it's actually into the server storage. That is useful. And then you can also, you basically can find a whole bunch of keybinds in here. Group as folder, ungroup, union, intersect. These again are the advanced modeling things. They're not very advanced, you just have to understand how they work. You have select children, which basically means you select everything under it. Zoom to, if you want, like, imagine you somehow get yourself super far away from the base plate and you do not feel like going all the way back. You can just hit base plate F. Oh, well, I guess, how about just hit the rig? Something small, you press F, and then you're over here now. Pretty good. So, anyways, now that you understand the basics of Roblox Studio, you can probably figure out a whole bunch of stuff on your own, especially if you know how to program already. I'll get into a little bit of scripting right here, right now. You can open up a script and, well, it will just have a script. And say we wanted to say, hello, hello meme. Yeah, that's it. And we can just name the script hello meme script. And then instead of putting this in the workspace, you should probably just put it in server scripts service so that it just runs. And you can see down here the output. So it's useful to have an output in it because it's good for debugging and testing when you're actually using scripts. So it's good practice to have the output open. And look, it ran once. It only needs to run once. Or you could do something, I'm about to get into a little bit of something, but imagine like, oh, I'm local I equals 10 For, oh wait, while I is greater than or equal to 10, do, you can just put this inside of here, and then wait 1 second. You can just go like, and then I minus minus. Oh wait, that's not how that works. I minus equals 1. And then you can have this. Hello, meme. Alright, well, I don't know what the heck happened, because apparently my script did not work. It ran once. Oh wait, that's why. Well, it only ran once. There. Hello me. Hello meme. Hello meme. Hello meme. Hello meme. Hello meme. It should only run 10 times. It might run 11. Yeah, I ran 11 times because they did greater than or equal to, which, yeah, makes sense. And if you just wanted it to do it so 10 times you do greater, then basic script. That is, of course, I'll go into how that works a lot better later. But other than that, tune in next time to learn more about Roblox Studio. Bye.